Let's talk about some exercises that we can do for the wrist and the forearm. These are all meant for strength. We're going to talk about how we can use resistance bands, some sort of hand weight, and then even just kind of a normal object that we might have at home for some of these options. First of all, let's talk about the wrist more specifically. For this, I'm going to use the hand weight first, just so you can see the different motions. I'm going to grip right in the center of the dumbbell. This is going to be the easiest position. I want my forearm and elbow resting on a surface. I can do this sitting or standing, whatever's most comfortable. And I want to make sure that all of this motion is coming from essentially elbow down, not incorporating shoulder stuff at all. So what this is going to look like, I'm going to rotate to go palm up. That's one direction to work on. And then I also, as a separate exercise, can work on palm down with that rotation. Sometimes, if we're trying to get a bit more motion than what we have, we may be tempted to lean into that rotation, or for example, coming inward, I may want to lift my elbow and kind of shrug that shoulder a little bit. So I want to keep all of that in place. If it helps to have a hand here, you can certainly do that. And then I'm just going to work on those two rotations with my hand weight, making sure that it's nice and controlled and comfortable throughout both of those motions. To do the same kind of thing, I can use just another thing. This is specifically an exercise tool, but it doesn't need to be. I can still grab in the center and do my rotations. Or to make it even harder, I can grip down towards the bottom end. That's more to need to control on the way out. Something like a hammer or your TV remote, those can be really good objects to use for this. Or similarly, I can still use my dumbbell and grip down on one end, doing those rotations. But having something sticking out more is definitely going to create a different kind of challenge for those muscles than when we're grabbing right in the middle. Let's then talk about wrist exercises. We can do this in 3 or 4 directions depending on what it is we have in our hand. With the dumbbell, I can do palm down and lifting my wrist upward. So I'm moving like this. I can also flip that over, so I'm starting palm up and I'm letting myself go down. Now, I don't have a ton of wrist motion myself in this direction, so you don't see as much movement, but you potentially could go further than this. And then I can also do thumb up, trying to lift up. I can replicate some of these using a resistance band. So for example, I can hold it and try raising up. I can go back of hand up. I can do palm up. And then I can even go out to the side, a direction that's hard to do with the dumbbell, and come out to the side like this. And with this, you can do it with your arm resting, sometimes making it a little bit more comfortable and easier to control and not let the shoulder get into it. Or you can do it just out and do the motions like that. So those are some ways that we can work on the wrist and forearm to improve strength or mobility in different areas there.